We're good. Okay, I'm here talking to my man Konrad Sheehan.
What's up?
How you doing, Konrad?
Excellent. Good to see you.
Obviously played the leader of the Bunks. How's it been going for the 45th anniversary? You been enjoying the weekend?
It's so nice to be here with my brothers and the people, the fans, and especially Chiller. There's a group of people that are just like you. We've become family.
Sure.
You know?
Exactly.
And it's just, so it's like coming home. It's great. I just love being here.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, since Thursday morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, LA time, up until last night, I think I was on 3+ hours sleep.
Wow.
And it was just, and it wasn't tired. It was just pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to be
I
here.
gotta ask you, the Warriors, 45 years now. This film just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's become one of the biggest cult films of all time. What are your thoughts on the longevity of the film and why it resonates with so many fans?
Well, first of all, it's Walter Hill, it's Andy Lazzaro, it's Bobbie Mannix,
absolutely.
It's the cast, it's the time that it was shot, and it should never be remade. Although Lin-Manuel Miranda is thinking about bringing it to Broadway, just that head rolling off of his lips freaks me out, you know. But also, it's with the video game and with the Funko Pop. Like, there are now children coming, and so no joke. So I always say, I show them this, and I say, do you know what this is for? And they're like, I don't know. It's for cutting vegetables. So I don't, no violence, you know. And it's just a beautiful, colorful. Oh, even Joe Walsh.
It was ahead of its time too, And I think, like you said, the three of the unsung heroes were Bobbie Mannix, and Andrew Laszlo, and Barry DeBorzon too, who did the soundtrack.
Yes, of course.
You take away those three things,
exactly.
So, can you give us a little history on how you got your start in acting and how you got the role in the Warriors?
Well, I guess to bring it back just a little, I wanted to be a psychologist.
Okay.
But when I went to my first year, I found out that you had to inject the mice or the rats and then kill them to collect the data and all that. And I was like, I went into a midlife crisis. And then I thought, I don't know why I thought, but maybe I'll go into acting and I'll be able to work with Al Pacino. So my dream was to work with De Niro, Hoffman, and Pacino. And so to make a long story short, I got to do a scene with De Niro in Raging Bull with Joe Pesci, doing stunts for Joe Pesci. I did stunts for Dustin Hoffman in Ishtar. And then at the time, there was no pagers or phones, so I only had, it's like a 24-hour answering service. So at that time, I was coming to LA. I was going to LA, but at that time you could drop off your luggage to the airport the night before, and I had a bunch of stuff. I dropped it off at the airport. I came home, called the answering service. I got a call from my agent, Jeff Hunter, and he said, go down to Greenwich Village and do a scene with Pacino. No audition. And I missed it. So I 2 out of 3. I got my dream.
Good for you. Good for you.
But Tom Waits actually did a play with Pacino at Circle in the Square, American Buffalo.
Now, how did you go up for the role of the punk?
And so I literally fell into stunts. So I moved to the city, and because I had a background in gymnastics and karate, my old gymnastics coach found out that they needed a guy to do a stair fall for Rose Gregorio and Eyes of Lord Mars. So I met the casting director. I got the gig, so I literally fell into stunts. And so then you do that, and then I got another film, and then you start getting a reputation. Sure. And so in the stunt world, it's harder to get into stunts than acting, because we have to trust our lives with each other, And so I literally just got booked to do the fight scenes in the Warriors. And then so we all met.
Initially going to be up for the role of the punk leader.
We were essentially yes, because we were going to do the fight scene. Yes. So I would not the punk leader. Because so we go and we all met Craig Baxley and we all went to it was I forget where it was. Was it? I don't think it was Astoria Studios.
Yeah, it was Astoria. It was
Lovely
Astoria.
Fest.
It's Astoria.
And so Walter sees me, I guess, and he looks, and he says, "Can you roller skate?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I couldn't, of course. But being that I have a gymnastic background and a karate background, I had the skill set,
Yeah,
So it was just practice. So I got skates, and I practiced in Central Park, like near Sheep's Meadow, right near the band shell, like right there.
Wow.
There's still people skating there today.
Is that right?
On the weekends,
How long did it take you?
Oh, well, he gave me the whole summer to practice. And also he said, grow your hair. So he
didn't have long hair at the time?
No, I didn't have long hair. But Sol Uric had no skaters in the book. So my question now with Lin-Manuel Miranda, I wonder if my character will ever be presented, because there was no skater.
Yeah.
But I guess they were the punks.
Yeah.
But who cares? Just to have that roll off of his lips is enough,
Sure.
So I practiced all summer, and then even before we did the close-ups, I guess Walter knew that I was going to have close-ups in the punks, but I was also hired to do the explosion scene for the orphans.
Okay.
So that night.
That's right. A lot of people out there probably don't know that you were an orphan.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know that. They know you as the leader of the punks, but tell us about that.
Yeah. So what happened was I was hired to do it. Billy and Agnes and myself. And Billy was great with cars, even though this wasn't a car stunt. So when I get to set that night, Walter has Bobbie put me in the orphan shirt, but with a cap on my head, like a beanie kind of cap.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of kept me on. I was on the far right.
Okay.
And then it was Billy, and then it was the orphans.
Okay.
And then so the scene was Michael throws the Molotov cocktail, and then Billy and I are supposed to run, and if the car was here, the camera was here, and my job was when I get to my mark, special effects was going to push the button, and then the car goes, and then I have to sell it into the camera,
Gotcha.
But so what happens is I get to the mark, nothing. So I run through, you just keep the action going, This happened maybe 11 times.
Wow.
And for some reason, they kept putting a little more gas. It was like a gas explosion.
So they had to film that explosion 11 times?
When he pushed the button, nothing.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
Wow.
So finally, we get to it. I didn't have to sell a thing.
And it was boom.
Leon Delaney was on a U-Haul truck, maybe 100 yards away, and he felt the impact of it. And some kid got glass in his eye who wasn't even, in.
Wow.
We were like in a bubble.
I think debris went on the rooftop.
The trunk flew off onto the roof. The door, I have pictures at home. I should have brought them. The door is hanging on just a hair of metal.
Wow.
Otherwise, it would have just blown right. I felt I was in a bubble. That's all I can say. No glass. Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How was it working with Walter Hill, and did you ever work with him again after the war?
No.
Never did?
Well, first of all, he's the greatest guy in the world. The greatest director.
Guy to work with? Yeah.
Oh, the best in the world. And I mean that it's just pure, great energy.
Yeah.
No ego.
Yeah.
Just, I had the little toothpick and, like when I opened the door, I just remember I was like, look and then do a pan of the room. Just really simple.
Sure.
And no emotion. It was just he set the mood, kind of, He knew what he wanted. And so he was the best. But I think when I did Brubaker after a while later, and then I forget Bronson, forget his first name, but he was the wardrobe designer for 48 Hours.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then Walter invited me to set for 48 Hours.
48 Hours.
And I didn't go. But what I found out, and especially they were disappointed, you know, and that I didn't make it, you know. And what I found out later from Joel Weiss is when he would invite you to set, he'd usually put you in the movie.
Yeah, well, he had Marcelino Sanchez who had a small little thing in that, you know. Of course, David Patricelli had a small thing.
Exactly.
Sonny Landham was, you know, of course, James Remar.
So, I think that
could have been in it. You could have been,
you know, but just to work with Walter. But I've been to his house.
Yeah.
We were at his house to film that video opening of, you know, in that Coney Island.
Sure.
Walter did a video
the montage.
Opening.
Yeah.
And we went to his house, and he was so cool because he made it a point that he wanted to have everybody who passed away listed. So before we filmed, his assistant Hope got I asked her, "Do you have a poster board?" And we listed every name. So I held it actually, and Walter read the list down as he was being interviewed.
Okay.
So he really cared about those who are not.
That's great.
Present.
That's great.
He was the greatest director.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Now, for me, hands down, the best fight scene in the movie is the Warriors versus the Punks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was done on a soundstage. Can you tell us a little bit about, do you remember filming that whole scene?
Oh, yeah. It's indelible.
Yeah.
So, prior to, so the opening is in, the first establishment shot was at Patsy's.
Okay.
In Upper
That's
East
right.
Harlem.
That's right. The bar scene that where it shows you the Patsy's. Yeah.
Yes.
In Harlem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the subway scenes were in Union Square.
Yeah.
And then up to the point where I opened the door. When I opened the door, now we're in Astoria Studio. And we did that so Walter could pull out the stalls and set camera and have more control over the angles.
Yeah.
And so that's why we shot that in the studio. And it was really nice because it's basically a box in the middle of a warehouse. So you have nice rain to just, you know, sit outside and talk even as they're setting shots.
Now, did Marcelino Sanchez get? I mean, it looks like he got pretty close, but you know, when he gave you that shot.
Well, you know, I was just going to bring up Marcelino Sanchez.
When he spray painted you.
Well, the shot, yes. The shot. Let's see. What I'm really thinking about first is the scene when I had to put my foot through the door. With Tom McKitterick at the bat, and I had to put my foot through the stall, and then he punches me, and I flip.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny because, you know, Tom is right near the door. Right? When I did my first kick, it was like this far away from the door. I didn't even get close, you know. And it turned out Tom had to be like this, you know, because I had to literally get my foot through. Like up to my ankle.
Okay.
If I didn't get my ankle through the door, because I had to commit. If my ankle was and the whole skate, if it got locked in the wood, it would have twisted my knee.
Wow.
So it was. I couldn't get the shot. You know, I couldn't deliver the shot. And it was affecting me. Marsh knew that, and you know what he did? We went to his motorhome, and he sat me down, calmed me, and we had orange juice. And then I calmed down, and then went back and got the shot. But now we're not. And then we became dear friends ever since. You know?
Good.
And but the opening shot, it's like the calm before the storm, right? Down the ramp, the dialogue, and the skate, and then open the door, boom. And so Mars was the type, like he would be the type, like you know, punch me, and then cut. Hey, are you okay? You know, like the
really
greatest guy in the world.
That's cool.
And then when I took the shot, I mean, it was a, it wasn't, it didn't hit me. But I didn't have my right hip, you know. Oh my gosh, I took the whole impact with the skates on the hip. Oh, it hurt for years.
I bet.
So,
just a couple more questions. How was it to get your own Funko Pop? To finally get your own figure. How was that?
Man. Well, you want to know something? We're at Chiller 2024. When was the last one?
2019 for the 40th. Yeah.
I was sitting next to Jerry Hewitt, and Jerry was great also. I was actually right here. This is where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Jerry came in, and he was over there. And I don't know what inspired him, but he goes, Konrad is not going to be here. I want him next to me.
Yeah.
And we spent the whole weekend together.
Yeah.
And then it was...
That's right, you guys were side by side, that's right.
Yes.
I remember, right over there.
because of Jerry.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And we had a beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
I think it was either Michael came over and he goes, hey man, you're a Funko Pop. So I found out here through Michael.
Oh, is that how you found out?
That's how I found out.
Oh, wow.
And then my daughter calls me. She found out. And then our neighbor knocks on the door. And, you know, we were here, but it says, you know, you're a Funko Pop. They were freaking out, you know.
Nice,
but the coolest part of it is that my daughter would say, hey, my dad's a Funko Pop. Or my grandson, my granddad's a Funko Pop. That's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love it.
All right, so let's see. Besides being a Ducky Boy, The Wanderers, which many probably know. What other opportunities came your way after The Warriors?
In movies, you mean?
Yeah, in films or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to talk about?
Well, like, let's see. I mean, I've been blessed because of stunts, and I also studied acting. Not good, by the way, but I did study acting, and I got to do Raging Bull, doing stunts for Joe Pesci, as I mentioned. Michael J. Fox, Supervised Success.
Oh, wow.
I got to work with Robin Williams. In World According to God. I got to work with so many I don't remember.
Sure.
To be honest, I
Sure.
And I got to star in Brubaker with Redford. But what happened there is I was hired by Bob Rafelson.
Okay.
It was Redford, Yaphet Kotto, David Keith, John Vanessa, and myself. And it was Bruno Neuten's cinematographer, which were like these blue grays. He was really making, Bob Rafelson was making really nice. But to make a long story short, he was fired, and Stuart Rosenberg came in. And I had a meeting with Stuart Rosenberg one-on-one, and his first line to me was, I'm not interested in character. Basically, because of time constraints.
Sure.
You know, he was basically reshooting Cool Hand Luke.
Okay.
So, and then he brought in like Jane Alexander. There were no women in the original movie.
Okay.
So it told the whole chemistry of the movie changed.
Wow.
But,
He did a lot of good films then. He did a lot of that.
I was blessed.
Last question, I'm sure a lot of the fans would love to know is, do you own the original overalls or jersey or your roller skates?
Yeah, so I remember specifically we rapped, and we did a group shot together. It's on Craig's table.
Okay.
And actually, I didn't bring it. And so I asked Bobbie Mannix, can I take the overalls? And she said, really can't, because we may do pickup shots, you know.
Oh, okay.
But I should say, I'll treat it. You know. So I didn't get the overalls, but Walter Hill was into punk rock at the time. So the punks were supposed to be punk rockers.
Yeah.
So Bobbie made an original leopard jumpsuit for me.
Okay.
And it had like a diamond in the crotch, because she knew I was going to kick through the door.
Yeah.
And so after they shot the Furies, it was so colorful. That's why they put us in the overalls.
Okay.
So I didn't get the original overalls, but I do have the leopard jumpsuit,
cool.
and I do have the skates.
You got the roller skates. There you go. There you go. Any parting words for the fans worldwide?
I just love you. It's like we're just so full of beautiful energy right now. It's like a love fest here.
Nice.
So it's so nice being here. If you have any questions, contact.
Well, thanks a lot for your time.
And then,
Conrad.
and then look up, where's that card? No, there's your card for not this card, your business card. Oh, there it is. Oh, and this is for the Warriors 1979 WPG. So you can go there, and then that's my brother.
Yeah.
And
thanks a lot, Conrad.
Thank you.
Much appreciated, buddy.
And thank you for everything.
Thank you for
both of
everything.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Conrad.
All right.
Cheers. Take care, buddy.
You got it.
All right. All right.